Welcome to the Daily for Monday, August 9th with Greg Lawless. I'm Jason Segini, and Greg, we're coming off one of the most anticipated games, maybe in MLS history, with 5 designated players taking the field in Chicago as they hosted New York Red Bulls.
It was a galaxy of stars out there. Marquez, Henry, Castillo. You also had McBride, Ljungberg out there, and of course Juan Pablo Angel, who had several great chances to score for New York. However, it was the rookie goalkeeper, Sean Johnson, making his second appearance in MLS ever for the Fire, who came up huge. He was the biggest star of the night.
Yeah, Sean Johnson played huge. He's a 4th-round draft pick, but he's really played himself into the starting lineup for the Fire. In the starting lineup for the Red Bulls in this game was Rafa Marquez. A lot of speculation on how long he'd play, how much of an impact he'd make. You saw he played into the second half, made a great pass to Dane Richards, which frankly should have been a goal for the Red Bulls.
There were several chances, I think, for the Red Bulls that there should have been goals, but you're right about what Marquez did. He was really, really good in the midfield. He went about 60 minutes and then came off, and in the midfield, he was showing composure in terms of picking up that second ball. He didn't always win the first one, but he was in the right place at the right time, either clogging up space defensively or picking up the second ball and then looking to distribute. The pass to Dane Richards was a beautiful one. No-look pass, through right there, and Richards looked very good on the night too, using his speed very effectively.
And we should mention, Richards came on for Thierry Henry at the end of the first half. Henry said to have a groin strain, but they don't think it's too serious. The Red Bulls have a quick turnaround with a game on Wednesday night.
Yeah, with a groin, you want to be careful. Obviously, with any sort of muscle pull or strain, you have to be careful. We'll see what Henry can do on Wednesday against Toronto. He may not get the start. He might. We'll see what happens on that one. But then the big game also on the weekend when LA come to town.
Right. One last note from that game is that De Los Cobos, after the game, kind of called out Collins John. Someone asked him why Collins John didn't start in this game, and De Los Cobos basically said, I guess I'm not a fan of his. You know, he said he's got a lot of talent, but he's not working very hard. It'll be interesting to see how this story develops over the next week.
It's probably not that surprising, actually, that these are the same sorts of comments that we've seen from Collins John's coaches over the years as well. But De Los Cobos coming out very, very strongly to say, I don't think he played well last week, despite what other people said.
Right.
And I think that it's important that McBride got the start.
Well, let's move on to some teams that are playing well, Greg. And those teams, FC Dallas and Seattle, continue to roll in the Western Conference. LA and Salt Lake are at the top, but these two teams are really making some noise now.
And LA and Salt Lake are not getting the results that they were getting just a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago. But you're right. The two best teams in the West right now in terms of their play, Dallas and Seattle. Fredy Montero was just named Player of the Month for July. He has been on fire, got a really nice goal, turning Eddie Robinson and putting it in the lower corner for Seattle to get them on the scoreboard in the second half. And then Dallas, what can you say that we haven't said yet about David Ferreira? The guy is just a magician out there, creating chances for his teammates and getting a lot of help now from Brek Shea on the left side, who has looked phenomenal up and down the left flank.
Yeah, I should mention Jeff Cunningham with a brace. 2 goals for him to lead FC Dallas over Philadelphia in that game. And then the other one, the only designated player to score over the weekend was Alvaro Fernandez for Seattle.
Right.
So he's the quiet designated player. Nobody really talks about him, but he's doing the job already for Seattle.
He is, and what a great response from him, actually. He scores the goal and goes to celebrate, and he turns around and he looks at Fredy Montero, and he's pointing at Fredy Montero for the crowd to cheer for him, not for Fernandez, for the pass. Exactly.
Yep. Another designated player in the news, Greg, David Beckham, saying, I think he wants to get in on all this hype, saying that he expects to be back a little bit earlier than the doctors are telling him in October, so he's thinking maybe the end of September. LA could use a boost.
Yeah, and David Beckham expected back in training today, actually, with the Galaxy. We'll have coverage here on MLSsoccer.com for that. But you're right. He's excited to get back. I think he does see that the league has burgeoned a lot this year and grown. I think he wants to be a part of that.
Well, Greg, on the eve of the U.S.-Brazil game tomorrow, we get some good news for American strikers abroad. Jozy Altidore and Eddie Johnson both scoring goals.
Yeah, it's about time. And Jozy Altidore doing it for Villarreal against Besiktas, the Turkish club that's actually interested in purchasing him. And then Altidore finishes that game, hops on a plane, and comes to New York in order to take on Brazil on Tuesday. And actually, we're going to have a lot of coverage of the game, the Brazil game, here on MLSsoccer.com.
Also on MLSsoccer.com at 3 o'clock today, Extra Time Radio. Tune in. We'll be back on the Daily tomorrow.